Okay, the cultural gap assignment. So I went to three different places. First, I went to an LGBTQ meeting. The second one, I went to a Buddhist meditation, which was really, really cool because I'm really interested in that kind of culture. Then the third one I went to was a Jewish synagogue and sat in on the Sabbath day of the day of rest, which was really nice and really out of my comfort zone too. So, going to all three of these, I noticed I really liked how everyone was very welcoming, and it was great because I was really scared to go. Um, Going to the first cultural gap, I went with my friend, and we stood outside the door and didn't want to go in for like 5 minutes because we were like, "Oh no, I can't do this!" Like getting out of our comfort zone. We felt so anxious. We almost left, but we knew we had to do it, and got enough courage and went in and had a great time, and everyone was really welcoming. And then when we left, we were like, "Wow, we could do this again." But then going to the next one, we felt anxious again, and we're like, shoot, we can't go in, we need to leave. And then went in again. It ends up being fine, and it was really fun because we got to do different meditation techniques that I thought it would be really cool to do. Then the third one, I went with my friend who is Jewish, so it was really more comforting than the other two because I wasn't scared that I was going to do anything wrong because he could tell me. So then going into that, I wasn't as anxious and it ended up being fine just like the others. And I left being like, wow, I could do another one of these and I hope I do. And so then I was really happy that the level of anxiety that I had and feeling anxious really decreased going to the last one. And then, so my favorite thing was everyone being welcome, and I didn't offend anyone because that was one of my biggest fears, and that's what pretty much made me anxious because I'm not used to going into all these different groups. I usually just stick to my own and hardly do anything in my own circle. So going out, I had to get enough courage and do it, and I don't really think I could do it alone because it's really hard and there's a lot of fears that you have going into it, and I don't know, I just couldn't do it alone because it was hard and a lot different than I'm used to. I really think a lot of people should do this because if I never had this class and never had these experiences, I don't think I would have ever gone into these different cultural circles and experienced what I did. My eyes have been open to all different kinds of people and how nice they are and how different it is being in their groups than others. I really hope that they're not scared to come into different events that we have because I know how anxious I was, and I don't want them to feel anxious coming into ours because it's going to be fine and you're going to learn a lot and it's really fun to do. So, my biggest anxiety overall was doing something to offend anyone, but I liked how after each one I was less anxious and it really helped and made me want to do it again because you learn so much. I notice about myself in this that I'm a very anxious person and I'm not used to doing these things and I'm very shy and I don't experience cultures enough and I really want to start doing it because you learn so much and the things are actually really cool. Like a Buddhist meditation was really cool to see and do and like really relaxing. I would want to do it on my own time. Um, I need to start experience more cultures and talk to more people because that's how you learn about people and get rid of stereotypes and learn to accept everyone and just become more diverse. Um, Cultures are all just so different and you can learn from so much from some people. And I don't want people to be scared like I am to do things. What I liked about the cultural gap assignments because it was very welcoming and very different than what I'm used to. So it was nice to get out there. Getting out of my comfort zone was great, and I really liked being able to pick what I went to because I don't know if we were assigned to go to certain things. I don't think it would have been a great experience. What I didn't like, it was sort of hard to find events, but worth it in the end when you search for the good the ones you want to go to. Um, I didn't like how it wasn't that easy to blend in because the different situations you stood out. Like I felt like I stood out in each one, but at least everyone was nice, so I felt better about it. I don't like how there's so much fear going into it. Like I don't know if anyone else felt as anxious I did or the fear to make mistakes, but I didn't like that fear and I feel like I need to keep going to different cultural events to lose that fear and feel comfortable talking to new people. It's a good skill to have and it will really help in my classroom when I get older because there's going to be a lot of children from different backgrounds and I need to be able to know about their cultures and be able to help them and learn from it and have books in my classroom about different cultures and the best way to do it is go in and learn and go out into the world and figure out what's what and what different cultures do. It's good to have a lot of background knowledge on it. So overall, taking from it, I love doing the cultural gaps. It was hard to find, but it was worth it in the end. And I feel like everyone should do this in their time because if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have had this knowledge, and I think everyone should do it. Language barriers is really hard though. If you go into a cultural gap where you don't understand the language, I don't think it's as worth it because you just won't understand. If I didn't have my knowledge from Jewish humor going into the Jewish synagogue, I don't think I would have gotten the full like meaning from it, because I was able to know some terms or know what the rabbi was or know what the Torah was, just to, I don't know, I understand it better. If I didn't have that knowledge, I don't think I would have liked it as much. Or if I wasn't able to pick the cultural gaps, I don't think I would have been that interested and excited to go, because it would have just been like, oh, I don't want to go to this thing that I'm getting forced to do. But being able to pick, you more freedom. Um, I feel like overall too, people should make sure they don't stereotype people, because I don't know, the fear sort of came from stereotyping people, like, oh no, these people do this, or these people are going to be like this. But they're just people. It's going to be fine, and you're going to enjoy every single situation that you come in. There could be some bad things. You might offend people, but you just got to breathe and get through it. The one thing I was scared about was how we talked that, like, this is their space. No one wants someone else coming into their space, and this is like their time to be alone too. So I thought me coming into their space, they were gonna be like, oh, what is she doing here? Like, go to your own space, like, get out of here. But after going in, I'm glad everyone was welcoming, and I hope that I do a lot of cultural gap events on my own after this and learn a lot more about different cultures, because it will really help in my classroom when I get older.